I've actually got two different examples I'm going to try and get done. Hopefully, we've got enough time to get it all done, but I'm going to show you two different ways you can create courses, how to edit your course, share themes, how to edit themes, and how much it costs. So first step, what is AI Course Creator? What it is a tool to help you create e-learning authoring. So it can create course creation efficiently and make it really nice and engaging. There's an easy document conversion function. It's user friendly, so it's much easier to use than a lot of the e-learning software that you'll see out there. Um, there's AI assisted editing, so it'll allow you to edit using AI, not just create the course and have to then recreate over and over. Um, it has lots of rich media and interactive components, and it should integrate with the majority of LMS systems on the market. If your LMS system has a SCORM upload function, then it will work, or LTI compatibility will work. So either way, and I'll explain all that a little bit later. How does it work, and how are we different? Why would you choose us over anyone else? So we eSkilled is a content creator. So we've created lots of content for the vet sector prior to creating our software for the vet sector. So we've actually trained our tool using our instructional design team. Um, so we've we've used it to help develop courses in that way. It uses a tell, show, do methodology, so it provides content, practical examples, case studies, or scenarios, and then a formative quiz. So I'll explain that a bit later too. It speeds up your design process, and it has really beautiful themes. So you can create your own themes, but essentially the file comes out looking really great. And it publishes to an interactive SCORM output. Now, I'll go through this. I'll keep reiterating this during this presentation, but to get the interactive SCORM output, you will need to go into the annual subscription of the service, right? What that means is that you pay up front for a year and you get access to the software for that year, but also you get then the button that lets you download the SCORM files. If you want to connect it to an LMS, you can go on the monthly plan and connect it via LTI, and I'll explain that as well. Let's get a start on this. All right, so hold on, go back to the start. So this is the website that you use you have your own portal into eSkilled's software. You'll have your own logos and you'll own your own little portal into the software. We use a range of AI models to utilize the software. Mainly, the content comes through ChatGPT. However, we use the API version. So one of the things that people will always ask, and I'm sure it'll be a question that comes up. Oh, guys, by the way, questions, top right-hand corner, there's a little speech bubble. So feel free to ask any questions by the way. Forgot to mention that earlier. So yeah, you can I've lost my train of thought. Um, so yeah, you can create a course using this software. This is the website, your own portal. Oh yes, sorry, the AI models. So we use the API version of all the models, which means that it will be encrypted to the model, and your content that you share with this software will not actually feed the model, which is a big part of delivery. It's very important that you don't feed the model your in how it works. So I want to go create a course. So I've actually got some stuff I've prepared a little bit earlier so that I can copy and paste so I don't have to worry. So what I'm going to do is actually deliver a unit of competency. So firstly, there's two ways I can actually do this, right? Firstly, if I have a learner guide, I can use the course creation type of document conversion. And what that'll do, and I'm going to do both of these today, what that'll do is I can actually convert a learner guide, anything, really any bit of text that's in a PDF document, it'll use the AI to structure the course into the e-learning file, right? Um, so in that circumstance, I can just upload a learner guide, and it will actually create a course using that learner guide. It'll be the exact text from the learner guide into the e-learning, and it'll use the AI to structure it into topics and subtopics, including pictures, right? So we'll do that. I'm going to do that second. I'm going to try and do the creative mode first, because the creative mode is where the AI becomes really powerful. Let's say you want to create content, not just convert it into an e-learning. So I'm going to do that firstly. So I have a unit that I've got from training.gov. Now I've copied a bit of the text from the unit. So this is going to be monitor workplace health and safety processes, but it's in the meat packing industry. So AMP unit code. Now I'm going to actually use the prompt to generate a really contextualized output, not just the output that you would see on any workplace and health and safety course. I'm going to try and contextualize it to the meatpacking industry, and I'm going to contextualize it to the audience that I'm going to deliver. Right. So, firstly, the unit is applicable to supervisors and those with workplace health and safety responsibilities in a meat packing premises, meat processing premises. Um, that's an interesting one. And then, so describe your course audience. This can be quite granular. Like I've put there supervisors. You can put job roles. You can put, um, you know, language levels. You can put all sorts of things into there, including AQF standards. But that being said, we do have an extra prompt later that will help you with that instead of actually using the AQF standard. The next step is describe your course in detail. This is where you would put in a unit code. Very important part of delivery. I'll say it's optional, but don't don't not fill it out unless you're doing a document conversion. Um, so I've actually added a little bit extra on top of the unit code. So the unit code, right? I'll put a dash, the unit name, and then I've just added in a meat processing premises. All right. So, course creation type is creative because I'm actually creating the text here. I'm going to use a lot of reference documents, right? Well, normally I would. I'm just going to add the unit for this one, the unit of competency from training.gov. So where you get that, if those who don't know, oh, hold on. Ooh, unit of competency. Oh, oh no, it doesn't. I thought it drag and drop. That's right. I'll click it. Open. Right. So where you go if in training.gov, you can just search up any unit of competency in the search, and it will create a course for that. Now, one thing to note here, it does say courses, right? But that's because a lot of learning management systems use the word course. It is relevant to a unit of competency, not a full qualification. Very important distinction. You could do skill sets or a few units if you're wanting to deliver to a few units, but if you're doing that, you'd have to add all the units, and certainly have to add in a lot of information about how you're going to deliver it. But yeah, either way, it's really relevant at unit by unit level, really more than anything. And I'm guarding the file type of unit of competency. You'll note that there's lots of different options here for upload. And I would get you to upload multiple files. First one, obviously, unit is relevant. Curriculum documents. You can actually create using ChatGPT um, guidelines on a curriculum or learner resources, and then upload them as PDFs, and they'll help you. I also have a client that uses that has PDF documents of PowerPoint documents of courses that they're delivering, and they want to flesh out all the topics in the PowerPoint notes. So they use learner resources and they upload the unit as a PDF. Um, Obviously, you can add in things like industry-specific standards, legislation, policies. If you're a HR, I don't know if there's any HR people here, but you can add in staff handbooks, policies, and procedures. So lots of places here to add in a bit of content. So hopefully that's relevant for many people. I'm just adding that unit. You'll notice it's only used about 8,900 uh, characters. You get 500,000. That'll give you a lot of text you can upload. All right, I'll go next. At the next level, how much text do I want? Course depth and breadth. I could go comprehensive. Sorry, we've got a question here, Erica Brooke. If we are developing a micro credential, which is not an accredited course, is there a workaround of not entering a unit code into the course? Oh, sorry, yes. Apologies, I probably should have gone into a bit more detail in the course in detail. You can put a unit code or you can just type in general language what you want to train. So you don't actually have to use a unit code if you're not delivering accredited learning. Sorry, I apologize, Erica. Yes, you can absolutely. It's just that we have a lot of RTO, so I was trying to tailor it a little bit that way. But that being said, you can. We have a course in our demo system how to grow zombies. So you can absolutely deliver on anything you want in there. I did a course. Actually, I'll give you another example. I did a course for my daughter in. She was learning First Fleet. She had to do a presentation on the First Fleet, and we did a whole presentation for her to present, and she learnt so well. One of the things with AI is you often think, "Oh, am I allowed to use it?" But the reality was that she learnt better using the AI tool. I even tested her. I went through and did test a test, and she outright knew more than if she'd tried to learn and build the content herself. And it was much quicker, obviously. So yeah, that was an interesting example. All right, so text wise, uh, thanks, Erica. Erica, thanks for the clap. Comprehensive. I'm going to do comprehensive just because I want to show you how much text you can produce. But normally, I mean, you may not need to use a whole lot of text. Sometimes it's really good to create lots of interactions, and this tool will help you do that. Obviously, that means a bit of work on your end, but I think it's certainly going to help with the process. Reading level. So there's a little speech bubble here that goes by reading. It says reading age. I think really important to understand reading age, not actually that's not your age. That's how the reading level age that you are, right? So when they say 18 plus here, what they don't mean just all adults. What they mean is university graduate level. So really read the descriptions and understand. Understand. I'm going to go fairly difficult here because we're talking about supervisors. So they've probably done some study. They may not be university graduates. And we want to go by the lowest common denominator that you're training. So that's why I would go fairly difficult here instead of difficult. Language, English UK, obviously there's 96 different languages to choose from here. And the interesting part about this, when it's using creative mode, it's generating in that language. It's not translating anything, it's generating. Tone of voice, casual, professional, funny, dramatic. I like encouraging. That's my favorite. But you can choose a tone of voice. Country context, obviously, very, very important because it's not just about language; it's about how you use that language and how people will understand you. So definitely very important to choose to choose your country. Obviously, I'm choosing Australia here. The last thing I've actually done up a bit of a blurb for other contextual considerations. So this is really, other contextual considerations is really important when it comes to case studies, practical examples or scenarios. And it's also important to understand. So when you're actually, when it's you're developing the content, it'll sort of tailor it that way. So it'll say things like, um, in this meatpacking processing plant in Sydney, because you'll see my prompt in a minute, it'll say this, right? Like it'll generate it based on that. Now I'm gonna put in this is all information from training.gov, but you can actually just use any general language to talk about how you're contextualizing. Oh, and by the way, Contextualizing can mean industry. It can mean state, local, regional context. It can mean political, social, economic, you know, con- um, considerations. So these are really important when you're talking about case studies. So I would spend a lot of text on this section here. Now I've put in supervisors within the workplace, health and safety responsibilities in New South Wales, very important, such as arborers, boning rooms, knackers. Oh, I don't really know anything about meat processing, but yeah, you can see it's information about who I'm delivering to. So next, all right, course settings. So we're going to do um, we're going to put in a category. So the category is really good for when you can type in your own categories here, right? But it's really good. It's a way of ordering the courses that you have in your software. So a really important part of what you're doing so you can search up the right course. It might be based on the full qualification that you're delivering. You might do it that way, or it could just be a subject that you're using the category based on. Let's say food and drinks. That'll do. Oh, food. See, you can just type in your own if you don't like it. Topic navigation, free or linear. So that just means that it's going to not progress through. If it's on linear, it's going to not progress through the course until you've done the previous subtopic. So each topic that you do will progress on to the next one, and it won't let you open later topics. Right? Free navigation, you can just choose any menu item and learn at whatever point you want. Right? Of course, it's not going to complete out the course until you do the quiz, which we'll talk about next in the next. So I'm just going to do free so we can start to see where we're at. Hard learning objectives. This is just a title page, basically, that sort of goes through a little bit of a blurb on each topic that you're delivering. Include case studies, and then you can completely customize your theme. And I'll go through that while we're waiting for it to load. I'm just going to use meat process. Oh, probably the wrong unit to show people because I don't know if I have an example. Let's just use this one just for his sake. I'll go next. Now the last step is quiz. True or false, single multiple choice, fill in the blanks, matching, you can do them all or some of. There's adds multiple, extra options as you select. Noting quiz here is going to be a formative assessment only. We're not mapping anything to your units of competency at this stage. Eventually, this tool may do that for you, but right now it doesn't do that. You would have to map them if you want to map them. But it is formative assessment, so you don't really have to map it. Quizzes, how many quizzes, how many number of blanks, how many questions are you going to ask? The quiz, there'll be a quiz on each subtopic that you are delivering on. Allow progression on the wrong answer, allow correct answer to progress. Just sort of, do you want to make them get 100% or do you need a result? All of the above. I'm going to allow progression on the wrong answer so we can move through the question. And then at this point, you can generate the topics and subtopics outlined manually. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Generate it via AI. The AI will do a very good job of using the elements and performance criteria for your topics and subtopics. But it'll also, if you'll be very surprised at results of what the AI can generate for topics and subtopics. That being said, when you generate it, it takes about 20 seconds to generate an outline. When you generate it, it takes about 10, 20 seconds, and then it brings you into the topics list before it actually generates the content of the course. And this will take a very short amount of time. Once it's finished, putting on final touches, he's painting his little masterpiece. Our eBot is busy generating some stuff. It will be done. It's taking a little bit longer. I think this is a massive unit. I've picked the wrong unit, I think, to show you guys. I just thought I'd pick something totally different. Okay, here we go. Voila. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of topics here. Maybe I should delete some. you can see it's got topics and subtopics, and that would be relevant to the unit. If I bring up the unit of competence here, I think we have, yeah, elements and performance criteria. So elements is point one, performance criteria. So that's the topics and subtopics. They've used that to produce it. And then if I'm happy with that, you can add subtopics, move them around, type your own stuff in, and it's going to then generate on whatever you've typed in as well. I'm going to hit quick generate via AI. Now, at this point, this is where it takes some time. So we're going to go in and do some other stuff while we're waiting. There's 28 topics. So I'm thinking that's going to take about 15 minutes would be a good guess. But, you never know because they're quick topics maybe. We'll see. While that's going on, let me just show you some themes. So firstly, you can create your own custom themes. Actually, I'm not going to go create. I'm going to show you one that's there already. So you got options. You got theme styles. You can add your own cover images, fonts, logos, even down to the color of the start button and the color of the progression bars, menu item bars. All the different colors that are possible. Even banners. You can put in your own logos and customizations there. Banner headings. It allows you to do this is the course completion page. What do you want to say on it? Banner text. So you can add in your own individual banners with icons. You can add banner icons when added manually, and you can choose your own icon as well, and it'll put it on top of the banner text. You can see there's some icons there already. When you go to add an icon too, I think you'll find that there's default icons for a bunch of things that you can do as well. So yeah, next there's Hotspots as a learning tool as well. So you can color those. Um, flip cards, how they look, um, and then image corners, how the image is going to come out by default. Table settings, like there's lots of different settings, padding even, and then all the different fonts that you're using and colors. So if you want to, you can completely customize the theme. Now, if there's a font you need to add, feel free to contact support and they'll add them in for you. Now, how are we going with this? We're up to 5. That's good. Next thing I wanted to do is show you how to create it using a document conversion, right? So I have a learner guide from a client. She said she might join today, so I wonder if she's here. I'm just going to use that to show you. I don't think. Never mind. So I have a learner guide from her, and I'm just going to upload it into the system and see what it produces. So I'm going to create another course. Hopefully, it doesn't error out this one. I don't think it will. This one is responsible service of alcohol. God, I'm doing some interesting topics. I should probably choose better topics. Okay, where is my topic? Learner guide. Okay, so you don't actually need to prompt it because it's just going to drop the text in there. That being said, I like to prompt it generally because then you can, when you go to edit it later, it edits using the prompts rather than just editing with nothing. So I would just get you to prompt it anyway. I'm not going to though. So document conversion, and we're going to add in this learner guide here. Oh, oops, attach file, and then we're going to go. Where is it? Where is my learner guide? There it is. Sysfab. All right. So at that point, it scans the document of 500,000. A whole learner guide is 149,000. So there you go. That tells you how many characters it uses. All right. I'm going to go next. It'll still get you to prompt these things too. Again, let's go. A nice looking one. Alcohol. this one. All right. Now, you can add in quizzes too. Now, that being said, it might get you to add them later. I'm going to hit generate there too. We'll see where we go with that. All right. Good. Okay. And this one's up to 8. Let's keep going on different things we can do. I might actually start to talk about pricing while we wait for all this stuff to generate. Actually, no, I know what I'll do. I'm going to show you how to edit and share. That might be a good thing to do. So I have one here. Hold on, I'm doing so much at once. So hopefully it share. Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, we're not in courses. That's why. I have a course here, Workplace Health and Safety for NDIS gardeners. So I did a course in a couple of hours for my brother. I haven't completed it actually. I've sent him a different version of this, but I did this what I've done here in maybe an hour, a bit more than an hour maybe. So I've so once you've hit go on the creative mode, it then takes you into this section here after it's finished this topic section. All right. Oh, here we go. Putting final touches. Oh, good. At this point, it brings in just text. All right. Now, if you're using creative mode, if you're using the document conversion tool, it'll bring the images in from the document as well. Okay. And tables and everything, and it'll reformat them and all sorts of stuff. At this point, you can then grab bits of text if you and highlight them. So to use AI to edit them, what you can do is hold on. Do I have any more? No. Oh, we have some questions. Hold on. I've got Pradeep here. Hi, Mark. Will you be sending recording? Yes, I will. Don't worry about that. We'll get a recording after this session. Probably about 3 hours from when I finish, it'll automatically send the recording off to you. If not, tomorrow, worst case. Harry has just said, we do not have an LMS, just an SMS. Would we be able to send students a link to complete a course? So yes, but you wouldn't actually know if they've completed it. So an LMS, the benefit of an LMS in this tool, sorry, Kerry, is that you'll know when they've progressed through the course. You can send a preview link on what the course looks like, but if you actually want to know if they've passed or not, or if they've done any other work in it, you really would need to have an LMS. I'm happy to talk to you after this, Kerry, about our LMS. That being said, we can I can show you a lot of different ways we can deal with this. Okay, but really, the tool is and you really need an LMS to know whether students pass courses. Unfortunately, but yes, we can talk about that later. All right. And if they have any more questions, feel free, keep asking questions. I'm sorry I haven't got to them quickly. So if I highlight a bit of text, I can actually use AI here, anywhere where these little stars are, to regenerate that bit of text. Yeah, Carrie, you could absolutely use sorry, Carrie's just said, could you use Vettrax LMS? They have a cloud LMS, I believe. Yes, you could use that. Most LMSs will have a SCORM upload compatibility, and especially in the RTO space. So yes is the answer to that. That being said, I'd love to show you what we can do for you. We have some really cool software for student and learning management, so including lots of things. I won't give any teasers, but yeah, it'd be worth looking at. So if I want to use AI to edit this bit of text, I just select the little AI button, expand, bullet point, or summarize text, and it'll just give you an example of the text and then upload it. Or the last option here is text to speech. It'll actually read out the text. It'll use AI to generate a recording of how to read out the text. Now, the recordings are actually really good by comparison to what you see out there in terms of reading, reading text. Um, They are really good. I would get you to trial it and have a play. I do have an example here, but I don't know if I'm sharing audio. Hold on, let me just see if I can share now. Media sound. Yeah, okay. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to play this one. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's the best voices, but I'll hit play.
Understanding health and safety fundamentals. In this section, we will explore the basic principles of health and safety that are crucial for gardening.
So hopefully you guys could hear that. um, yeah, it's pretty reasonable in terms of what it does. It pauses at the right moment. It's not monotone. I know I've had um, content read out by AI before, and it's always very monotone and very hard to understand. So it's a really nice looking sounding file, and it's a lot. It, it costs a lot of credits to use the AI generation, the AI audio, but it's worth every penny because if you pay an artist, an audio artist, to do it, you're going to pay lots of money. You could read it out yourself, of course, and then just add it as an audio file instead if you don't want to spend the credits. But I recommend using the credits. The cost associated with it is much less. All right. Now we can add in lots of interactions. So obviously videos, it'll embed YouTube videos for you. When you go to actually add the 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 bit of content, it will actually ask you. Add video, and then you can embed, upload, or browse your local image library. That means it's just your library of your computer, or embed it from YouTube or Vimeo. I recommend embedding. Um, Sorry, Michelle's asked a question. We have a subscription in your LMS and SMS. Is this included? If not, what is the additional cost? I will get to cost, Michelle. Apologies. Yes, we will show the cost. It is not included. It's a separate product deliberately because we're going to be able to sell to any, you can use this software in any LMS. So we're backing our product that you'll want to use both our LMS, SMS, and our e-learning course creator because they will help with production. So no, it's not included, but I'll show you the cost in a minute. Embed from video from YouTube or Vimeo, you just insert your link and it'll embed it. Um, the other cool thing is if you don't like a whole topic, so sorry, topics, there's topics and then there's subtopics. That's where all your text sits, right? If you don't like any of the topics, you can just delete everything within a subtopic or a topic and then use the AI here. It'll have another option here of generate content, and it will just generate the content for that section or regenerate it if you want to regenerate it. So a really easy way to add bits of extra content and text. The other things you can add in are flip cards and hotspots. I've got some examples here to show you, but just to show you how easy, and this is how I would be using it for people. I'm just going to jump into one of the later things where I don't have much done. If I want to add a bit of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options within a hotspot, what I could do is just go interactive activities, single column hotspot, and then I add the image. Now, when I'm adding images, you can generate via AI, or you can browse the free image libraries. I actually like um, legal. I'll just put legal textbook here because what I wanted to show you is, we have stock image libraries here that you can just utilize any of these images. They're copyright free. You can just grab the images and use them in your presentations. And I just hit add that image. And now I want to add a hotspot to it. So I just hit done, tick box done. And then there's a hotspot, right? I can move that around. I can edit that hotspot. And what I would do is drag in the dot points into the hotspot. And then you've got a beautiful looking, like I've done here, you've got a nice looking hotspot with, oh no, that one. You've got a nice looking hotspot with your hotspots there, you know. Now I'm going to preview this course so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so you You can see it's a nice looking SCORM file. Start the course, videos. The hotspots sort of look like that, and they sort of have a nice looking sort of thing that goes in and out. Accordions. The quizzes actually come out pretty nice looking as well. I got that right without even trying. There you go. You can see that's how it works. We're up to topic 9. Gosh, it's taking a while. I think it's because I'm trying to create 2 courses at once. Yeah. It's trying to do too much. Sorry, guys. That's what happens with live demos. You can get error codes. See what it's actually generated already. There may be stuff that it's generated already into it. I've actually got an example of one I've done earlier too, so I'll show you that. Nah, it's not done much. It's not done anything. Oh well. Must have errored out really early on. I think it's. I don't know. I did this same course before. So test.conversion. That's the one. So document conversion looks like this. Sorry guys to jump around a bit. Hopefully that is still making sense to you guys. Could you please, sorry, Michelle's asked another question. Could you please clarify whether the AI component is only required to complete the course or if it's needed for an ongoing basis to deliver and run course? Okay, so the AI is generating the course, so it's not required afterwards, right? That being said, if you don't go on the annual subscription of the service, you won't be able to download the files to then view it. So you'll purchase a year, and then you'll be able to produce your courses and then download them, and then you can keep them. They're a SCORM file. You can produce as many students through it, and there's no extra cost. The other question was, additionally, are we able to use our own AI subscription, or is a specific tool license through eSkills required? So this is your own tool. So you will actually have your own portal into this software, and you'll be able to. It'll prompt using our tools, and we've built the code behind it. But it will actually be your own portal into the system, the same way as your subscription to your LMS, right? That being said, if you go monthly, it's month to month. It's not an extra cost. Right? So hopefully does that answer everyone's question? Sorry, I've jumped around a bit. No worries. You can see here, it's actually grabbed the actual content from the guide, and then I've added a couple of interactions. Sorry, guys. I've played around with it. I've played around and added a few things to it. You can see here, it's just grab the text and the images, and then you can just edit. And if you don't like a section, use the AI to edit. Yeah, that's that. We're still on topic 15. It's going a bit faster now that it's not worried about the other thing. So that's good. Yes. Okay. Let's go into costs. Does anyone want to see any more interactions before I jump into costs? No, I think that's pretty good. Let's just go into costs. All right. So AI course, there's a free trial for this, guys. There's a 14-day free trial. That will only give you 2 courses to create and 14 days to do it, right? But you'll be able to generate a couple of courses pretty quickly. So you probably don't need the full 14 days to do it. So the 14-day free trial, 2 free courses, and it won't give you audio transcribe, and it won't give you SCORM file download, of course. So that's just options there. Now, monthly, a starter package is $89 a month, or $1,068 for the year for the annual subscription. Right? That will give you one person to create courses, 20 gig of included storage. You if you are linking YouTube videos, I would very much doubt you'll hit that 20 gig. The only time you might is if you're uploading videos. 1,750,000 AI generation credits per month, right? That'll it's a very variable amount of credits it uses per course, per unit. It can be really anywhere between 50,000 right up to 500,000 generation credits it uses, really depending on how you've prompted it, how comprehensive it is, and you'll get a really good idea of how many credits it uses when you're trialing it, because and so I'll get you to have a little play, and then what you do is you go into the courses, and you just hit the three dots, and then you can see. Hold on, let's go to one that's actually been developed. Generation credits used, and then it'll give you a total generation credits. Right? Other thing to note in this one here, download SCORM is this button. You want a preview link. Now, one of the persons earlier said, can you just share it with people? So that is, you can use a preview link, and it will just create a little website that you can then that anyone can just jump onto and do the course, right? So I would recommend putting it into LMS so you get the information. But if you send someone a preview link of the course, you can open it. You can have them open it clearer there. Okay, I have another question before I finish talking about the costs. Does your system do both the learner guide and the assessment? It does formative assessment, yes. But it will, so when it does the document conversion though, it won't actually, depends on how the quiz is structured. It probably won't generate it into a quiz. But you can always delete that quiz and just hit generate quiz using the AI button. And it will generate a new quiz using that subtopic. So yeah, it'll create formative quizzes for it. So tell, show, do methodology. Um, really important. How are we going? Ooh, getting there, 23. So yeah, let me finish talking about the costs. So the last thing here that I wanted to talk about is the 50 course limit for the starter package. So that 50 course limit will, that's how many courses that are sitting on your platform, right, at any one time. You can delete courses if you finish with them. That being said, if you delete them, how do you edit them later? You can't. So it's important to maybe keep them if you can, or at least an example of everything you do. The other thing you can do is generate a course in one context, generate and then duplicate it and generate it again in the other context. It's going to use two lots of generation credits to do that, but you can do that absolutely. Change the topics, the subtopics, and regenerate. So that's another way you can go about doing it. Now, stepping up, Maximize Pro gives you a lot more. It exponentially gets better, right, in what you do. And if I flick to annual, as you step up your packages, you get a discount of 10% off of the cost of the per month cost. So that's something to note too. And so as you step up also, you get more generation credits. If you want to stay on your package, but you want some more generation credits, you can purchase them independently, separate invoices. You just go into the subscription section and purchase them. That's another thing to note here. You'll have to put in your credit card to actually sign up, but it won't charge you. Like it's like any subscription. If you put in your credit card details, it'll charge you when the free period is up. But if you don't want to be charged, you just go into the subscription section. Well, here we're almost done. The My Subscription section, and you'll be able to say Do Not Charge for future. That's in there. Oh, almost done. We're getting tight on time, so apologies, guys. The last thing I wanted to touch on is if you download a SCORM, right? Most LMS systems will have a SCORM upload. It'll be a zip file that you can upload into it. One thing to note here is there's two different versions of the SCORM outputs, right? And there are some learning management system softwares that you have to enable simple sequencing and do SCORM 2004. That's forced for some LMS software. But yeah, either way, you can use whichever version of that. I like to use 1.2, but I don't know which one's the latest. I just use 1.2 and it seems to work really well for me. But that's the preview link. Um, there's edit topics and course settings here. Now, the other thing that you can do under the settings here, administration settings, it gives you the LTI domains. Now, some LMS systems have LTI compatibility, right? When you connect via LTI, you use your LMS domain and you can upload your LMS domain and it connects them, and then you'll be able to view all the courses that you have on there. So it'll be like a, a window into the software, but also shows progression data as well. So that's another way you can connect. LTI is learning technology interoperability. So it actually gives you it just means learning software that connects between different systems. That's what it means. So that's that. I think that was everything I had to talk about. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, hold on. We'll see the output. Yay! Oh, hold on. Where are we at? Thinking. It's already generated. See what this has come out with. Yeah, providing workplace health and safety information, explaining. You can see it's quite detailed, the amount of text when you do comprehensive. The quizzes are pretty awesome as well. It has quiz options, the matching pairs. You can add new questions or edit them. You can add all the 4 different types and add them manually too if you choose, if you want to. If you want to have the exact ones from the learner guide, you can just build them that way. It's pretty quick to build them. Yeah. Is there any final questions before we finish up for today? Everyone happy with how they've what they've seen today? Even some feedback? No, no questions. Everyone's happy. Feel free to ask any questions. And if I miss it before we go, I'm more than happy to answer any questions after the fact as well. No worries. No worries, everyone. I know. Sorry, Eric. But now I need the company checkbook. Yeah, for sure, definitely. It's funny. It's funny how exciting this is. It's really exciting to be part of a bit of software that can save so much time for RTOs or non-RTOs training organizations. Because the reality is that it takes a long time to create courses, and this software, makes it a fraction of the time. It's not actually deceptive to say 100 times faster, but worst case 20, 30 times faster than what you've created before. It takes us to create an accredited unit before this. It takes us approximately 6 weeks to create the e-learning, 4 weeks to create the content, 2 weeks to create the e-learning. And that's with lots of people involved. I had a client tell me that they produced uh, a whole diploma qualification over a weekend. A diploma of nursing too, with 26 units. So it's insanely clever what it can do, and it just speeds up the process. That being said, it is AI, right? AI does require validation. You do have to go in and check your content, make sure you're happy with it, and pretty it up. I would say add as many images and interactive elements as you can because they make it easier for learners. So yeah, definitely do that part of it. All right, guys, I'm going to finish up here a couple of minutes early. Like I said, feel free to ask any questions later, but you'll get a recording and you'll get a free free trial as well. Erica's sharing her example. Sorry, I'm currently writing micro credentials for an industry body, and yes, it takes me considerable time to create learning material, then quiz questions. So AI will assist. Yeah, Erica, you'll be blown away how quickly you'll be able to create content, and then just dropping it into your into your learning management systems. It's just, yeah, it's insane what's possible here. And because we've used our instructional designers, the content comes out really nice. That being said, it is AI and it does have its own little hallucinations and things that it does, but you'll find that it does a really good job of making sure that the content is really relevant. Um, yeah, the flip cards look really good. They actually, you want to see the flip cards? Hold on, I'll show you the flip cards. I've got an example of the flip cards here. That's with an image on top. But you can put images and pictures and words as well. So yeah, really, really cool. Like I said, when I did it for my daughter, it it really helped her learn the content. So, and she's a 9-year-old. So imagine what it can do for adults. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you've used it to well, and certainly send me through some previews so I can give you some pointers or um, or um, or you can show off what you've done to my email, and I'm happy to take a look at that. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. Have a good night, and we'll speak to you next time.